Good night, everyone. My name is Anubia Schraud, and I'm here to present my final paper on Latin America history at the movie class. I made my paper based on Roma. The title of my paper is Roma: Separation of Classes, Discrimination, and Life Experience by Cleo. First, I'm going to give a little introduction of what the paper is about. To provide a brief introduction, the movie Roma took place during the 1970s, a time of economic growth for Mexico, especially for the middle class. There were political and social changes. The working classes and the poor classes organized to protest against the oppressive ruling of the PIR government. Cuarón focused on the predominant classes at that time, particularly the struggle of a white class mother, Sofia, and her domestic indigenous worker Cleo. Cuarón explores the role of domestic workers in the middle classes and the middle class families, and the stereotype they face based on social economic status and ethnicity. I broke down my paper into three topics. The first one is Cleo as a domestic worker. First, I will talk about the main character Cleo, who represents thousands of indigenous workers around the world, particularly in this case Mexico. Cleo is an indigenous worker born into rural poverty. She suffered discrimination primarily because of her ethnicity and her social status, which places her into a vulnerable position for discrimination since her social status limits her educational resources and also excludes her from other worker opportunities. Domestic workers are predominantly young women that leave their own families to become unconditional servants of their employer's family. In the beginning, the movie we observe Cleo performing continually housework, non-stop from the morning. Among them, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the children, taking care of the dog, doing laundry, and so on. Cleo displays the main characteristic portrayed by a domestic worker, which places her also in a vulnerable position to be abused by her employer. They live in the master house, so there are some sort of like available 24/7. Do not have a specified working hours. They have an unlimited list of chores to do, and in some cases they spend their lifetime working for the same family, and in some instances their children become the servants of their employer's family. The discrimination that Cleo experienced that is portrayed in Roma in the movie Cuarón explores the discrimination and abuse under her female employer and also under her boyfriend, Cleo's boyfriend. Although her employer is a stay-home mother, all the household chores and job in the house are performed by Cleo and her co-worker Adela. Cleo is the loyal maid that becomes like a second mother to the children. She's the first person that they see in the morning when they wake up, and she's the last person that they see at night before they go to bed. Her employer abuses Cleo in a way that she could be performing certain things by herself, like when, for instance, in the movie there is a scene where the husband comes home after being away on a work trip. They sit together, the family sits together around the TV to watch a movie, and Cleo wants to sit with them also to see what they're watching. And as soon as Cleo sits down, Sophia asks her to bring her husband a tea. It's like Sophia doesn't have a chance to relax, and letting, like, in a way, know, okay, you're part of the family, but you're not completely part of the family. Your main role here is to be a maid. Also, the discrimination that she suffers under her boyfriend when Cleo goes to Fermin to tell him the news about the pregnancy. Not only he abuses her verbally, he also uses violence that the violence that he portrays on her with his body language. And this is an aggressive body language that he uses to let her know that he's the boss and she can't tell him what to do. So the type of discrimination that she experiences with her boyfriend is that he not only discriminates her because of her ethnicity. And he also discriminates her because she's a domestic worker when he calls her a gata. Gata is a derogatory Mexican word used to humiliate domestic workers. The indigenous ethnicity is an important factor in Roma, and one of the main reasons why Cleo is discriminated. Although the movie does not show Cleo's background, her life at home, her childhood, or her family, there are instances where she interacts with other domestic workers and with the same ethnicity, such as the time when she went to the New Year's party as Sophia's wealthy friends, and also in the countryside. And besides her daily interaction with Adela, which is another domestic worker that she shares ethnicity, and they speak the same dialect. Sophia's social study and ethnicity are social study and ethnicity are interrelated as relevant characteristics of domestic worker. As many indigenous people, Cleo migrated from the countryside to go to the city looking for work, taking in domestic work as the only choice for labor due to her lack of educational resources, and this explains why indigenous domestic workers are discriminated and stereotyped. They were forced to take a place in society where they are considered unskilled and inferior, not only because of their ethnicity, but also because of their social status. Cleo and her employer Sophia, there is a discrimination also that Sophia suffers by her employer, are the two predominant classes during the 1970 boom of the economic boom in Mexico. Sophia is the white woman that has part of a privileged class that enjoys the advantages of access to education, social services, and work opportunity. On the other hand, Cleo is the living domestic worker from indigenous community who like many other domestic workers supported the middle class's privileged lifestyle. Cleo is not only the person that cleans and cooks, she's also an important link between the children and their parents. Sophia depends on Cleo for the good functioning of the home. Cleo has a strong bond with Sophia's children. That's why Sophia knows that her children are well taken care of. But she wasn't able to create this bond with her own unborn child because of her situation. She's working constantly, and Sophia didn't give her the chance really to create that bond with her unborn child. Although Sophia is a stay-at-home mother, the chores are performed entirely by Cleo and her co-worker. Roma identifies the pain of broken relationship. Roma also presents the suffering and the pain that these two women go through. One, Sophia, because of the infidelity and the abandonment of her husband, and Cleo's suffering is due to the fact that she was rejected by her boyfriend and she also lost her baby. And Sophia does not see this time of despair for both women as reason for bonding. She doesn't see it as a chance to face a struggle together. She doesn't identify with Cleo's suffering, and the reason why is because Sophia is aware that Cleo might be part of the family, but her main role is to serve them, and her main role is to be a maid. Sophia is aware that Cleo might be part of the family, but they can experience similarity in their personal situations, but her social studies, Sophia's social studies, does not allow to see their relationship as equal. Sophia is not concerned with Cleo's future. She's occupied with her new role. She's a divorcee now, and she's concerned about what her future is going to be like, while Cleo is still trapped unaware of the exploitation inflicted on her. To conclude, this research paper focused on the different types of discrimination domestic women workers face, portrayed in Roma, as directed by Alfonso Cuarón. Additionally, ethnicity and social status are further discussed as it pertains to the class Cleo belongs. She represents one of the many that abandon her home to migrate to the city and search for work opportunities. Women such as Cleo engage in domestic work as the only option. This is based on inefficient government system, that benefit only one social class. Cuaron presented in Roma an asserted distinction between social studies. On one side, we had the privileged, educated, middle class woman with a wide range of work opportunity, and on the other side, we had the rural class, born in poverty, indigenous worker, with no other choice but to take in that domestic work because that was her only choice. Often, this domestic work is undervalued and the value is discriminated by other social classes. And overall, although Cleo and Sophia had it, like any other woman, was subjected to pain and broken relationship, throughout their emotional journey, there is no true boundary between them, and this um, is due to the fact that there is a wall between them where they can never see each other as equal. At least Sophia can never see Cleo as her equal because of social study and ethnicity. Thank you.